Generally speaking, we want your mid-back to be able to move and your low back to be relatively stable. That low back supports a lot of load that you feel in the upper body throughout the course of the day. And then that mid-back is important to be able to move for things like reaching to that catch point in swimming, reaching overhead nice and stable, and not having to arch your back extremely to do so. For this sequence, we're going to start with a foam roll sequence of the back with different arm positions, and then we'll go into a quadruped thoracic rotation to help increase that range of motion through the mid-back. Remember, we don't want to hold our breath. When we're holding breath, tension develops. In certain cases, holding breath and building tension is important. But when we're trying to release that tension and work on range of motion, we want to breathe nice and steady. For this sequence, start by foam rolling your back and really focus on the middle of your back. So as you roll, try to avoid any sort of bony spots. We want to try to avoid that. And if you find a tense point, don't run away from it. I want you to think about just pulsing, smaller pulses of a roll where that tense spot is. You can also change your arm position. So you can see here I have arms crossed. That helps free up some other areas to roll out and expose different musculature to the foam roller. You can also go arms overhead as well to change that position. Think about minimizing that arch in your low back. We want to control that low back position throughout the roll, and think about just breathing nice and steady here. With the foam rolling complete, let's go into a quadruped thoracic rotation here. I want you to think about keeping your hips even and still so we can take this movement and focus on your mid-back in particular. So then you're just rotating nice and controlled, allowing that mid-back to move nice and steady. And you guessed it, don't hold that breath. We want to breathe nice and steady here. Keep those toes anchored with the floor, that hand stacked right under your shoulders. And remember, hips stay still here, focusing on a controlled rotation with the hips still, low back stable, rotating through that mid-back. Complete 10 repetitions on each side.